Hello, and welcome back to Dice Dropping's Song of Fire and Ice role-playing game, The Chronicles of House Weirlight. We're really excited to be back. Hope you guys enjoyed the end of the last arc. I know everyone else did. Real dicey there for a little bit.
We're alive.
Oh, we made it.
Yeah, it's true.
Best steward ever.
Best steward.
Beth Stewart. But we're excited to continue the Chronicles today. I hope everyone's staying safe out there, with all the stuff that's going on at the moment. But come, social distance with us.
Yes.
I physically can't touch you if I tried. So
Yep, there we go. See?
Maybe.
So safe.
Maybe. No.
We're very
Good
safe
work.
here. So, my players, you're all doing good?
Yeah.
So far, so good.
Yay.
Right.
Everyone's ready?
As will ever be.
Right. So-
If I need liquid courage, I'll get it during the break.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I always have mine.
Nice.
All right.
That's
So.
the secret to his amazing jamming.
Yep.
It's wine.
Wine.
everything's done well, wine drunk.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing missing is some cheese.
Mm.
Oh,
You'll
so-
provide that, David.
No.
Yeah, let me get on that. I'll be there in a few days, Anthony.
Okay, appreciate it. Just drop it off outside my door. I'll wave to you.
Yeah.
Stay 6 feet
Drop-
away.
Drop it off, ring the doorbell, just leave. So,
I'll leave.
Don't
That's all
touch
you
the
do.
doorbell, just drop it off.
Drop it off.
yeah.
Don't you touch it. All right. How's we're gonna get into some things right now. I did want to kind of go on talking to some people. How's character wise? How is everyone kind of feeling about their character?
I'm loving it.
Great.
Good.
I'm looking forward to dig more into her.
Mm-hmm.
Dig
Yeah.
down.
I do feel like we've only kind of scratched the surface with a lot of characters, and I feel like a lot of people are ready to kind of bite more in. Obviously, I think Clarissa maybe found out a lot of things about herself in the last one.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
So we need more shadow cat attacks is what I'm hearing.
I think that was the message, yeah.
I think all of us need a horrifying, survival horror
Mhm.
night out in the woods.
Course.
It really helps build
Obviously.
character,
Yeah.
It helps make
Yeah,
you
obviously.
you.
It really helps you discover yourself.
You don't really know who you are until you almost get eaten by a shadow cat,
Yeah.
as they say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, Bailey, you feeling good? Oh, I
You might
can't.
be muted.
We can't hear you. Oh no!
Hold on.
Come here, Nadia, Bailey.
Oh no.
Oh
Oh me, oh my.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Ah,
All
You're good.
right. Temporary
Okay.
scare.
thank you, Discord. Always a fun time. Yeah, I love her. I'm feeling really good. I think a lot of things developed within the last couple of sessions, so that's always fun. But yeah, also excited to get more into some of the stuff that I've written for her, just like everyone else.
All right. Yeah. Also, Aaron, about Henrik.
Yeah.
How's Henrik feeling? He's killed twice as many people now as he had
Yeah.
previously.
Feeling good. I think similar to everyone else, sort of kind of just looking to dig into them more. I'm trying because I know he's the strong, one of the strong combat crew members, and can feel that, definitely feels powerful. But I want to kind of dig into his stuff a little more with intrigue. I think I want to kind of dip my toes in there. I'm gonna try a little bit. I think that's half the stuff I have for him. Is he has a certain character and ideals to him. So I want to kind of explore that a little more. And he's feeling confident right now. He's killed a couple people. He helped save Clarissa. Feels cool. So yeah, I'll probably do that.
Yeah, I definitely. Don't worry. This game has no end of troubles for all of you to develop yourselves.
Yay.
Yeah,
And
I
I-
found out that Teedrick isn't the best when it comes to intrigues.
But you know what?
But he did hold his own.
He did. And I think you were. I
Only
think,
because he had help.
I
But
think
that's-
we just
I'd say that's a good lesson for a lord to learn.
Yeah.
You know
There are
who to
moments where you
surround
can stand
yourself with.
alone, and moments.
Mm-hmm.
So that no wonder you keep your wife on your council with you, which
Yeah.
most lords don't. But your wife sits right there at your small council, and we've seen the reasons why. It's not that Tedric's incompetent. It's kind of almost what I would say the opposite. He understands his own weaknesses and wants to, instead of hiding them like many others, wants to fill them in with other people.
Yes, fill them in with the best person for the job.
Mm-hmm.
with
That's
someone
the whole
that's
point of
awesome.
House Weirlight.
Mm-hmm. That is, the goal of House Weirlight.
Of course, it happens to be filled in with a very awesome person.
And I will say that I think House Weirlight very much lived up to their words at the end of the arc. For those of you who don't know, the words of House Weirlight are, of course, sown in blood, reaped in glory.
Cool.
Yeah, they have very scary house words.
Especially
One
for
of
Reach.
the very few
Yeah.
in the Reach that actually do. half the mottos in the North are all just terrifying. Just like... but today is a little different. It's been some time since we first started the game in-game. A couple of months have gone by, and it is time, ladies and gentlemen, for the House Fortune rolls. This is a really interesting part of this mechanic in this game where essentially the house, whoever's kind of helping to run the house, will make a roll. It will determine money gained, money lost, influence gained and lost, but it also sets the tone for the next sort of like month to 3 months of the game. And, I have ideas of what's going to happen, but these rolls can make me go, where results can result from anywhere to bliss, bounty, things like that, to doom and
Plague.
stuff like that. So we'll see what happens. The better you roll, the less likely you are to get a bad thing, but not guaranteeing.
Mhm.
There are no guarantees.
This is the Game of Thrones.
Okay.
For in the Game of Thrones, we all know.
Mhm.
Yes. Cut to. Yeah, got it.
You win or you die. Alrighty. So let's go over right now how to, create our stat for the fortune roll. So whoever the acting lord is, it's currently Tedric, is going to make, not right now, but is going to make a stewardship status test, or a status stewardship test, to show how good of a ruler he is. Now, luckily, the house also has a steward. So, the steward of the house, Clarissa Asterwood,
Best steward.
because you are not a mechanical steward, but a player character steward, as in you weren't bought specifically for the house in the wealth rolls, you can, instead of just adding a bonus, roll a status stewardship test, essentially, to aid Tedric in modify his own roll. Now, I believe you have some abilities that come with that as well.
I do.
What are those?
I have head for numbers.
Mhm.
So, would you like me to explain it?
Yes, please do.
Sure. So when I roll House Fortune checks, I can add my cunning rank, which is 4, to the test result.
Mhm.
So that's pretty nice.
It's pretty cool.
Hmm.
All
Very nice.
righty. So we are going to roll the house fortunes, and then we're going to talk about house actions. House actions, you say, yes, your house has actions. You can only take one per fortune roll. And they range from anywhere from managing your resources to beginning projects, waging wars, hosting tournaments. Yep,
No.
going to war right now.
No.
Right now.
Happening right now. Everybody, 3, 2, 1, go.
Having a war with our banner house.
Ooh.
No, that's
Why?
Chris's family.
All right, so here's.
That's a
Oh yes,
question.
yes.
This is for perhaps maybe I can bring it up again after we do all the house action because I also have something to do during our fortune rolls.
The wealth.
I have the
Yes, your own. Yes, your personal wealth.
Yeah.
We will deal with that after the house fortune.
Okay.
Thank you for reminding me, though. So here's how house fortune rolls work, essentially. You have to roll. The house must roll house fortune roll every 1 to 3, 1 month of every 3, but no more than one house fortune roll can take place for each month. So here's the thing, though: you can choose not to roll a house fortune. If you do, if you do decide to not to roll, you may instead increase any resource by 1, just stating that things are going well. Otherwise, the steward or acting steward status test, bonus dice from stewardship apply, and compare the results to a lovely little table I have. Now, of course, there are certain things that modify house fortune rolls. A big one is population, law, and of course, wealth holdings. So, for example, our lovely House Weirlight's law gives them a -1 to house fortune rolls, which is actually very good. Most can be anywhere from -3 to -10, depending on how bad things can get. -1's pretty good. However, the amount of people House Weirlight control, their small folk, gives them a +1, basically canceling out the negative. Now, the other thing we all have is our wealth holdings.
Well.
Now, because the house has a maester, mechanically, also as a character, our lovely Thorsten, house rolls are increased by +3.
Oh.
Yes. Also, the house has a port, which is lovely, which increased the house fortune rolls again by +5. So right now we have a +8 to a house fortune rolls. And I believe that's the only thing.
Does
we have a
having
marketplace.
A artisan.
That's right. We have a marketplace, which means whenever a house fortune rolls indicates that you should increase your wealth, normally a marketplace will just give you a +1. But because you have a port and a marketplace, it increases your fortunes by 1d6 instead of 1.
Yeah.
I
So
also
happy I
add
pushed for
1
it.
to that.
Yes, Clarissa also adds 1 to that because she's such a good steward.
Mhm.
Best steward.
Best steward.
Huh.
That should be a shirt. Best steward.
Yeah.
It should.
I was just combat. Can we get like a combat crew shirt, and then can we get like Bailey like, a best steward shirt, please?
I'll write
it
it down
Yeah.
for future shirt ideas.
Yeah. I've been writing this down. I'm like, there's got to be shirts for this.
It
Yeah.
has like the maester chains on it.
You gotta get a mug
but-
that says "World's Best Steward."
Tony, is that all
Yeah.
we were smart with when we were creating our house?
You got pretty good. +8. Pretty nice. So I believe we can get going.
All right. I'm just gonna type in +8 into the chat, so then we
Yeah.
have the number.
So, well, first we have to. Clarissa's actually has to make a roll, and then Tidrik's.
No,
Right.
of course. It's just so then we don't miss
A
the math.
reminder, yeah.
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 The
So
math
we'll
is there.
get our
So,
bonus.
Clarissa, can you please make a stewardship test for us, please?
Okay. So that's a 20.
Right, because of your head for numbers.
Dope.
Mhm.
So a 20 is I'm just gonna oh, it's real good. So that would be, let me just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So a lot of degrees of success.
Mhm.
So that adds another +5 to Tidrik's roll. So Tidrik, you're rolling with a +3.
Ooh, okay, here we go.
So Tidrik, please make a stewardship test, and then we're going to add 13 to whatever number you. Hilarious. So 29.
Uh-huh.
So let's see what we get. Oh.
Oh no.
Perfect.
What
Oh
is it?
no.
What was that? Oh,
What the
We
GM
have
said-
rolled a curse.
god damn it.
Again, higher numbers
Yeah.
make it more likely for something good to happen. It does not guarantee something good will happen.
Cool.
Everything around 29, quite honestly, is really good.
Awesome.
Yep.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
However, that
Um,
perfectly coincides, and I know exactly
How it will
what that
manifest.
Mhm.
No, no, no.
Cool.
I'll use my destiny point.
Don't
No.
work like that.
No, you may not.
Yeah, me too.
That's why I said I want to, not that I'm going to.
Uh-huh.
So, now we have some house actions to do. The house actions include, you may only choose one. The house action is manage resources, begin project, wage war, and host tournament. Manage resources is one of the easiest actions a lord can take. Essentially, manage resources allows you to convert one type of resource for another, such as investing wealth into law or investing lands into defense. There are limitations on what resources can be converted. I have a lovely table that basically shows the 1-for-1 rate. During a turn, you can only convert resources once, but you can do so of any amount. If a reduction results in an ability to pay for an investment, you lose that investment. So if you're desperate, you can convert 2 resources, but the exchange is much, much worse. They are called rushed managing. So if Tidrik feels the need to lower one resource so another resource can increase, you can do that. Otherwise, you can just take, because the other ones don't seem to apply, I can't really conceive of a project anyone wants to work on that includes like building towers or halls and things like that. Waging war is obviously you waging war. The reason why that is a house turn, it means all of the resources of the house are, of course, applied to the war, right? Tidrik has had to take that action many times in his past, right? And then, of course, the other one is host a tournament.
But with
Now,
the wedding,
what'd you say?
but with the wedding going on,
Right. We will talk about that in a moment. Obviously tournaments take some time to make, and they do cost quite a lot of money. For an example, just for you folks at home know, there are 3 tiers of tournaments. They're called sizes. They are a local tournament, which generally draws many lordlings and knights from around the region. A regional tournament, which basically means almost all and a bit outside of the reach would show up. And then, of course, the grand tournament, when all the 7 kingdoms, competitors from all of the 7 kingdoms come. Of course, they differ in amount of money. Generally, to sponsor a local tournament, it costs 2 wealth. But you also need to spend 2 wealth for like the prize of the joust, and 1 additional wealth for the prize of other like events, right? A regional tournament,
So that'd be about a total of 5.
yeah, right, not that bad. A regional tournament base cost is 5 wealth plus 2 wealth for every contest featured at the tournament, which can be around maybe like 9 or 10 9 to 11 wealth. Grand tournaments cost a base of 10 wealth plus 5 wealth for every prize, equaling more around 20 to 25 points of wealth.
All right, we're gonna do that. And Henrik, you're our star.
On it.
All right, so Henrik,
Go.
all you have to do is beat Barristan Selmy, Jaime Lannister,
The mountain.
the Mountain, the Hound.
Everyone.
Yeah. Great.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's all you got to do. You've got this.
You
You
got
got it, boo.
Yeah, you know what?
Next
Too easy. Too easy. I can do it.
16-year-old.
Yeah.
Not even.
Oh, man.
Still
That's
15.
so-
Still
There
15.
you go.
Still 15.
I'm fucking ready. Let's do this.
All right.
No.
So, seeming is we're not going to take many of those. Teacher, if you feel the need to manage a resource, you can. However, there is a what is sort of known as the passive Lord action during this part is merely this. It's very simple. Your wealth goes up by 1. That's it.
Well, I will leave it up to everybody.
Small council meeting.
As soon as we get back home, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so out of character, but / in character.
Yeah.
Like, what do you guys like mentally just thinking? What do you guys want to do? Do you guys want to manage resource?
I think I was
You
wanting to
can't
take some-
exchange anything for defense. So I will say you can't exchange anything from defense essentially. But you can change influence into at a 1-to-1 rate.
Influence into what? You cut out.
Law.
Okay.
Influence into law at a 1-to-1 rate. So if you spend, say, 5 influence, the law will go up by 5 points. That's you literally expending your influence on your lands to, get them a little more under control.
Mm-hmm.
Lands to defense is another 1-to-1. Population to power is another one. That's literally you raiding your farms, going, "Hey, farmer, give us your son. He's a soldier now." And he's like, "Okay."
Give us your first.
My life for the Weirlights.
No.
Probably.
It's not like it hasn't happened already.
Yep. You can also this is my favorite. You can translate power into influence, law, or population.
Huh.
That's influence and law is you're just sending out men to do shit. Population is maybe you're retiring some of your, and you're giving them your like, and here's a farm, and they're like, oh yay.
Yay,
Oh,
yay, a farm.
You just have to share it with these 7 other soldiers.
Given us a farm.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Land.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then you can contribute wealth into literally every other resource because money is power.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And population and law and land and influence.
And everything else is power. Yeah.
Uh,
There we go.
ha, 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 ha.
However, I will say wealth is a little more costly. For every 2 points of wealth, another resource increases by 1.
One.
Yeah.
You got to spend a lot of money.
Gotcha.
It's like
But some people are like, I'm going to spend 10 wealth by the next session, right?
Mhm.
The next time a house fortune roll comes around.
yeah. It's like personally, I'd be okay with either transitioning some influence to law or just do the passive and get some wealth. Those are the two.
That was my
law thing.
Those are the two
my
that I'm
thing.
kind of leaning towards.
Yeah, that was my thing too. Because
All right, so we got 2 votes for that.
Yeah.
I was thinking
You
about
like
including
that? I'm
our law as well.
Mhm.
Okay. We're
And
mostly
any-
on favor with the whole law thing.
Mhm.
especially after Clarissa. Protect
Yeah,
her at all
like we're all a
costs.
little traumatized by that. I was like, make sure we don't have bandits in, just running about.
Yeah,
and,
hedge.
That'd be good.
Seeing that hedge knights in the fucking Westerlands are just taking up camp on popular roads.
Like-
Like,
Damn
Thankfully, we don't-
Titans!
Thankfully,
Yeah, we
we don't
don't-
have shadow cats, but still.
Mhm.
Yeah, we don't
No, we
want
just have
hedge
other
knights.
things.
Yeah, we don't want hedge knights getting ideas.
Yeah, calm it down.
So yeah,
I mean, I think,
Cover
it's,
that
I
rabbit
think that's a great
course.
idea.
I'm with Aaron on that. With either doing law into, influence into law, or bumping up
Or
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 put
bumping
the
up
wealth
wealth.
up to 1.
All right. So what's the It sounds like we're doing influence into law. What for what? Tiedrick?
It's a 1-to-1 ratio.
It's a 1-to-1 ratio.
So 1-to-1, we have 55 influence, and our law is 35.
All right. What say you for? What say to 4?
4 influence down to 51 to up the law to 39. Sounds pretty good.
Aaron, did you?
I don't know if we want to take that much hit on influence.
We would still be like that, like 51, like because it goes up by each, like by like 51 or like 41. It goes up by that, correct?
Yeah, usually. There are a few that it will apply to you. But yeah, so if you want to keep it down to 51, that's nothing's really changing.
Okay.
Yeah,
Pass
I'd
around.
kind of stick at like 2 or 3-ish.
Want to do 3?
Give us a little bit more wiggle room in
Yeah,
case this curse.
Because I don't
In
know
case
what
something
this
happens.
curse is gonna do to us.
I know.
We don't know what.
We could
I
also
know you
possibly
don't.
get
We don't know
more-
what anything.
we could also possibly get more glory in these upcoming
This is
weeks
true.
with the wedding going on. So.
I will say it does specifically state the best way to improve your house for is adventuring.
By doing
Adventuring.
things.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
and
3 is a
adventures
great
out there, so
No 3.
3 is okay.
3.
We're gonna move
All right.
from influence to law.
All right, 3 from into us. We now have 52 and 38, 38, excuse me, law.
Yeah.
Fantastic. All right, so there is a kind of sign of Clarissa speaking to one another and them sort of calling on different people throughout their lands, also some of their allies around them, like crack down a bit more on like bandit activity and criminals and crack down a little bit more on thievery. So the law gets a little stricter around some local areas near the House Weirlight. Yes, Vivian?
I was gonna ask, is our reward from
Tyrell.
Lord Tyrell, is that gonna be like house statistic and bumping, or is that gonna be?
Yeah, you already got it. It was 10
Oh,
wells.
it's just.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
He gave you money.
Yeah,
I
and,
gotcha.
and then
And then the reward was all the glory you got, right? And then you guys
Yeah.
decided how that was increased.
Right, but we didn't add the. We had 38 wealth before. Okay.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
remember, you had 41, lost 3 in the bet. Well, not in the bet, in the
In the
dealing with the copper.
bargaining.
And then got 10 more.
Okay. Understood. Gotcha.
Yeah.
But Vivian still has her thing regarding wealth.
Yeah, no, I know. We're getting there.
So
What I was saying, the kind of again contacting local lords, some minor knights that you kind of have about to sort of just police your lands a little more. Like, hey, we're getting a couple more people in. Can you just crack down a little bit? And Clarissa's just like, yes.
they love
Destroy
me.
them.
They really love me.
Destroy them. Yeah. So, perfect. All right. So, I think we can fully kind of get into it. Everyone ready? As now that we have adjudicated all of the lovely prefixes to the house,
Yes.
and whatnot.
I think the only hangover thing was, but it could probably resolve itself in game, was Mariella possibly looking through the deep cellar for a possible future Tyrell gift thing. But
Yes.
but that can resolve itself.
Yeah. So basically, there's a lot of things in the just like in the book and like other places. I can tell you what you can tell me what you want to give, and I can basically say, yeah, there's definitely some stuff, and you can pay a certain amount of wealth. Hedrick and Vivienne have secretly contacted me what they have all from the sellers there. They were not presents for the Tyrells, I will tell you. However, yeah. So you can basically Mariella, it's really your imagination.
Oh no.
Yeah.
See, it's like I think I would have wanted to either have like Clarissa or somebody with me to kind of like look through, because it's like I haven't really met them. So like I have like very limited like personal knowledge of the Tyrells other than like what I've heard from my father and my brother and my mother from some extent.
Yeah. I mean, you have met Mace Tyrell and
This is true.
And Garland Tyrell.
Garland, yeah.
A lot of them like night stuff.
This is true. But I was actually hoping to possibly aim more for Mace's, like a gift for Mace's wife.
Oh, yes.
So I'm trying to think of what would be down there. If you have suggestions, I am open to.
I mean, Vivian knows her.
Yeah. So
she likes animals.
But yeah, no.
And like things of animals. So like, statue of a bird, stuff like that. Ceramic roosters.
Oh God! One of those people.
On it.
Yeah, no. I think I probably would have kind of perused with either like.
Yeah, I don't really want to do it in game.
No, that's fine. I think if anything, possibly like a beautifully crafted, not something super huge and ornate, because it's like the gold flower that was given to us. It wasn't huge, but it was definitely like well crafted and everything like that. Possibly either like I don't want to say a brooch, but possibly like a hairpin or something that's like beautifully crafted in like the shape of a bird or something. Like kind of like a small but very well crafted like kind of animal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kind of a thing.
Yeah, that wouldn't cost that much.
Yeah.
I'd probably say 90 silver, 100 silvers.
I got that.
There you go. It happens. You do it. It looks
Awesome.
nice. You're fairly confident about it.
I just want to have a gift in the bag.
Yeah, and then Vivienne, your allowance comes in from your papa.
Papa!
Oh, did he?
Though Vivienne is still is technically wed to House Weirlight and is now the responsibility of Hedrick Weirlight, due to the marital contract between the House Adderfell and House Weirlight, Vivienne is owed nearly every month a sum of allowance that is to be gifted by the Adderfells. This clause was in fact added by the Lord and Lady Adderfell. Now, the reason being is they actually believed they needed to hype Vivienne up more to the Weirlights because the Weirlights are a more significant than the Adderfell. Which was hilarious due to the fact that Hedrick had already asked basically Vivian to marry her. But they believe not to cheat. They cheat those who would be family under the eyes of the seven, whatnot. So Vivian, do you want to?
Sure.
Do we want to do that?
Yeah, it is a cunning or status, whichever is higher over an easy 3. And then my success is 10. So here we go. Rolling just straight status.
Nice.
So it's degrees of success times 10. And that's how many gold dragons I get.
Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4 degrees of success.
So 40 gold dragons.
Yep. So it comes in the mail. 40 gold dragons.
Comes in the mail.
Yeah. Vivian's allowance. Which, is of course more money than anyone that isn't a noble will ever see in their entire life.
This is the just a fund, really.
It really is. To the expenses that House Weirlight has, 40 gold dragons is literally.
Yeah.
But it's nice pocket money. It's nice to have. Of course, if anyone robbed you, they'd shit themselves.
Yeah.
They're like, oh no.
We should put this back. We should put this back.
He's too much.
Oh my god, my cats are snuggling on the bed.
Oh,
yeah,
so cute.
We're gonna see.
All right.
There.
Very good.
Oh,
yeah,
Artemis.
Little baby.
So, as we come in on House Weirlight at their grand castle of Theolden Hall, a wedding is upon us. Thorsten, having mentioned it to Vivian after the whole affair, Tyrell's, but before you leaving, a raven came in the very first session, inviting the Weirlights to the marriage of Kevin Manning and Sylvie Hart. The wedding is to take place at Manning Hall, and it is the marriage between Vivian's eldest sister's son, Kevin Manning, and Lady Sylvie of House Hart. Seeing as this is your nephew's wedding, while the Weirlights receive many
invitations,
rebuke most of them because you don't know these people. And
we don't have the time.
You don't have the time, mostly. Sometimes maybe you send like a representative, but generally you don't show up. Are you asking the spelling of Kevin? It's Aaron. You got it right.
Yeah.
It is
spelling.
It is Kevin Manning.
Lord.
And Sylvie Hart.
Oh yeah, good Y, I-E.
We gotta have that.
That's just how you spell Sylvie.
Yeah.
No.
That looks
Yeah,
old,
it is. That's
but
just
yeah.
the spelling of it.
Is it?
Should it be?
We gotta add like an extra A or like 2 L's in there somewhere.
An umlaut.
Oh god.
Fancy.
Yeah.
Yep. So, so this is some information that you would, Vivian. Kevin is the heir to House Manning, but he was your sister's second son. For unfortunately, Kai, who was the eldest son, he was killed.
Oh.
Yeah. It really hit your sister hard. To the point where she actually became a recluse. You have written her several times. She does not write you back. You and your elder sister never really had much of a relationship. You knew her a little more when you were younger. And she was around, but she left. You were around Tasea's age when your sister left, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he died in battle, awkwardly, during the rebellion.
Mhm.
And he was, of course, obviously, House Manning was in the Crownlands, so they were on the Targaryen side. And it was, in fact, a Baratheon man who killed Kai. However, there is no contention between either of your families because both of y'all fought on the Targaryen side. It was just awkward because, Vivian, your family, the Adderfells, didn't. Right? Well, they did for a while, and then they betrayed them at the very end and secured the victory. Long live Robert.
Hey.
Well, yep, we serve King Robert now. I definitely think Vivian and Tedric might refer to him as without really think usurper. Without maybe thinking about it, like, oh well.
I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Things happen.
Yeah.
It's not like
War.
we all knew that. Everyone knew the Targaryens were insane.
Yep.
Yep.
So Kevin's father is Arthur Manning. Arthur is much older than your sister. Your sister's about 40. Arthur is 64. So he was, well, I want to say, yeah, he was like 38, almost 40 when they got married, when your sister was about 13, 14.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was rough. But they have a good marriage from everything you knew up until Kai's death, and she's just become a complete recluse. However, a year ago, she started writing you again. Not apologizing for her last letter, but just saying, like, I've been so long.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't great, but she seems to be doing better. But you don't know how much better, because while normally she would write you very long letters, now they've been like simple paragraphs, right? She's different. You would know.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what you know. You don't really know much about the hearts. If you guys want to have done some research before then, you can. But so that's the wedding. And it's about time, well, to ship off. Everyone. So we're kind of seeing a scene almost reminiscent of the first session of the carriages, the line of carriages outside, people kind of running back and forth, packing them. Vivian talking to people, making sure everyone's ready to go. Vivian, of course, cut up to here, all the way down, leather gloves, probably a hat to keep the dust off of her face. Everyone's sort of getting everything ready to go. We see Tedric most likely speaking to some of his men about the escort there. While you are not going as far, seeing as you are bringing a lot more valuable items with you, you have a significantly more men with you. Well, normally it would be like maybe 6 to guard the family. At this point, it is probably double, if not more than that. You never know.
I'll say, let's see here, 16?
16 men. Boom.
John is staying at the hall.
At the hall, you're Is this like you want him guarding the house?
Yes.
Great. All right, cool.
My
All right,
sweet
so yeah.
baby.
Protect Clarissa.
Yeah, Jean, this is your one job, man.
Yeah. So Jean will stay by.
Stay at the house.
We do see Jean has now on his outfit he has a chevron as he has been promoted to a sergeant within the Red Riders.
Way to go, Jean.
He obviously earned it, and none of the men who survived that battle, the two who survived, say that is undeserved. So now, of course, none of you have to ever refer to him by title because you're all much better. But yes, Jean is, very much excited to, of course, guard the house while you're gone. Everyone's kind of getting ready for going in. Everyone's having to pack their, very nice formal attire, many days of traveling attire. Of course, for the people who are going on the hunt, your hunting attire and hunting equipment. There are many carriages that are just dedicated to the clothes that the house will be wearing. And of course, another for the gifts. The wedding gifts, of course, must be given to both the bride and the groom separately, and then one gift basically for both of them. So everyone needs to bring 3 wedding gifts because, Westerosis, they're bougie.
God, yeah.
So that's a thing. And of course, all the grand and great gifts that are going with it. Money's also been nice. People like money. It's very common for close family members to give money.
Money can be used to purchase many goods and services.
Very true. Very good.
They don't have that. They don't have that. They not have that dance where you pay $1 to dance with the bride and groom. Is that not a thing here?
No, unfortunately, the laws of prima nocta do not exist in Westeros. They do not exist in Westeros. So we see many of the people in the courtyard of the castle, kind of just make sure everything's ready. Tidrick, at this point, you kind of walk up to Clarissa, who is standing there, and you are basically going over the last-minute things of the things to look out for while you are gone. / you just assuring that she's got things to do, right? You got stuff you're going to do. She is not going to the wedding.
So, Clarissa, you going to be okay?
Of course, my lord. I always am.
All right. Make sure to keep up on defense. Make sure the guards do their rounds. Make sure Thorsten doesn't get too uppity.
Yes.
And,
my main job, as always.
In the back, you just see Thorsten smoking a pipe, look up.
In another room, just scratches his ear.
Sneezes.
All right.
All right.
I will hand her a few gold dragon, just in case.
Thank you. I did have to spend all of mine to survive.
You did.
Recently. So, that's nice. I appreciate it, my lord.
Fantastic.
Don't tell anyone. I took it from my wife.
Oh, no, never. My lips are sealed.
Cut to a scene earlier where Vivian is handing Tidrick money. Absolutely. Clarissa, you kind of look over and you see Thorsten, and you're kind of just sitting on probably a barrel smoking your pipe as this is your break time, and you're just sort of watching everyone pack, and you've already secured everything they would need for the journey for them.
Including
milk
of the poppy.
I was about to ask, what did you secure for them?
Medicines,
Oh,
basically as cure-alls, especially for the journey.
Balms for aches and joints.
Mm-hmm.
Lady Vivian does get headaches, so
Yes, she gets a very reduced dose of milk of the poppy unless she needs a little more. Just enough to take the nerve off.
Yep, some teas and whatnot. Yep, so Clarissa, you go over to stand next to Thorsten as you two of the main house are the only ones staying. As the Lord and his children are going off. Speaking of that, we see I think Vivian kind of with Mariella, you've just sort of going over like what you've brought and what dresses that that of course going up to this you had made because you're not a peasant. Buy a dress or wear a dress you've already read to a social gathering.
I fully believe in stocking in very talented staff.
Exactly.
I fully believe in it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm my mother's daughter.
But are we plebeians?
Yep. So
I decide my own textile.
Yeah.
Walk away.
So yes, you've kind of just finished going over dresses, where several suitcases are brought down. Trunks. Obviously, they're quite obviously Henrik's. As Henrik comes down in his traveling gear, looking phenomenal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Even on the road, I look good. Okay.
I bet you have
You
at
have, like,
least 2 more trunks than I do. Bets.
Oh, for sure.
And
Yeah.
it's just rings and capes.
Exactly.
Fantastic.
Full trunk, one of them full of rings, the other one full of capes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Henrik, you come down, you see your mother and your sister.
Manon, it's like, yep. It's like just all my things. Like I'll go with Mariella. It's like what outfits, obviously, like we've been over this before. Like we don't want to clash. We don't want to be super matchy and everything. It's like, okay, like, oh, we're wearing this for when we first get there. Gotta make sure you're wearing this dress because I'll be wearing this half cape. And if we don't coordinate now, it's gonna be a mess when we get there.
I totally picture Henrik bringing Mariella. It's like, okay, quasi, I have 50 bajillion outfits out on the bed and all over
Yeah,
the
we have to
room.
land.
No,
Okay, what do you think? Yeah.
No, hold on. I have this. No, your outfits are being held by like a dozen servants. That's what's happening.
Oh, yeah, good
They
point.
don't
Well,
touch anything.
No.
Thank you.
I'm not disregarding that there are servants also holding them up. I'm just saying there is that much.
Yeah, exactly right.
It's like, all right.
And then you have to rotate. Like, all right.
Yeah, okay, bring the purple ones with the gold trim out. Okay, thank you. Yeah, great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Vivian, you're watching your children briefly have this conversation of all right, remember that this outfit on this day, this outfit that. Are you concerned about?
Yes, immediately.
No. Hold on. Hold on. Just let me finish the question for what I'm saying concerned about.
Before you yell at me, hold on.
Are you concerned that Henrik is paying this much attention to his outfits, or are you proud that he's paying this much attention to his outfits?
Oh, no, I'm very proud because how I've been raised is that what you wear is another form of war, obviously. You come into court in the wrong season's attire, and then you've already lost the engagement. What I am concerned about is the two of you do realize when a pair come in with a matching ensemble or one that complements each other, it is to infer that they are in a closer relation than siblings. Yeah.
I started
just
describing the 2 outfits. It's specifically we did not wish to clash, but it's not crazy matchy. It's we're not even exact colors. We're just within general color families.
Mm-hmm.
So then it's not just creepy twin relationship.
So Vivian, all right, it has been 5 sessions since we have mentioned incest already.
There is a ground.
And
There's a foundation for it.
We
It showed
know.
up in session 1 of the show
Yeah.
and book 1 of the books.
The minute we said we're twins, everyone was just like,
No.
Oh.
We're not creepy twins.
Well aware of
Understood.
that. Nope.
Well, as long as you're aware, we are presenting ourselves to the nobles and those of the King's Land, so they are. Well, they find themselves very important. So be very aware of those you speak to.
Yep. You see, like, Cedric kind of Sir Cedric kind of walk by holding a trunk and putting it on there. He goes, basically what your mother means is don't let them understand that they're not as important as you are. And he just throws it on there.
Continue doing his thing.
Love him.
Yep.
It's
love
gonna be
him.
hard, but I'll work on it.
Mm.
Oh, and Anthony,
Yes.
I gave John the axe.
Oh, the axe. He has Theobald's axe.
Yes.
All right. He wears it on his side.
Aww.
All right. Yep. There's a very kind of strange bloody handprint on the blade.
You never clean that? Oh, okay.
No. That's stylized. That's
Oh, okay, okay.
It's like embossed in it.
Yeah, it's Theobald.
Got it.
It's the axe of
It
Theobald
looks like
Red
it.
Hands.
Got
Mhm.
it, got it.
Yeah,
Right.
fantastic. So everyone's getting ready. Sir Cedric is not coming with you guys. His men are, of course. But seeing as this is like a wedding, like he's coming, he's going to be the master at arms and stay and, be stuff.
Yeah.
Of course, Nero also is here as the Castellan mounting the defense. But the one who is essentially in charge of House Weirlight as the family goes to a lovely vacation is Clarissa Asterwood, the steward.
Best steward.
Now, your handmaiden, Vivienne, kind of comes up to you.
Jennifer.
Yes, Jennifer, and she has Tisea like with her in her hand, like she's holding her hand. Tisea looks ready to go. She's excited. She's coming. She's like, "Will there be knights there?"
I believe so.
And then before you've answered, she asks like 2 other questions,
Yes. I answer them in succession for her.
and she's just very like, "Will there be lemon cakes? I very much want to have a lemon cake."
Well, there are many ladies of the court who love lemon cake as well, so I'm sure there will be plenty.
Like, good. I'm glad. I want to also have a pear.
Have a pear.
Yes, I want a pear.
I see. Well,
I read it in there was a story with a princess and a pear in it. I very much want a pear.
oh, all right. How did the story end? I just love her so much.
Yes.
Where is Garrick?
So Jennifer goes, he goes, I was busy attending to Lady Tisea, and we basically you then hear Felix Black, Cedric Squire, like run around the corner looking up, and then he like stops and sees all of you and like straightens. He's like bows very deeply, like,
I look
and then
up.
like moves casually, but
Felix.
keeps looking up, and then he stops.
Yeah.
I
Well-
look up.
Well,
You see Garrick on the roof.
Oh no.
Mother,
Sabrina, you're
Just like that Stark
Mother,
boy.
I'll get him. Don't worry. And I'll run out with Felix trying to like look to my sister, like keep her
It goes-
calm, and I run out.
So as you run out to Felix, he's like, "I just saw him.
How did you get up there?
I have no idea, man."
Oh God, it's
My
okay.
lord. I think it was over my lord. My lord.
You're fine. No, not here. It's okay.
I think I've gone
let's go.
blind. I've gone blind with rage.
He goes. And he just goes, "Hello, mother. I'm on the roof."
Garrick,
Yeah.
why are you on the roof?
Oh, well, that's easy. I threw my stone up here.
You what?
My stone, my lucky stone. You see, after you guys got back, my Moorish taught me how to use.
Oh.
And I accidentally lost the rock up on the. So I went on the roof to get it.
Right. What?
I found it, but I found a lot of other things up here too.
Garrick.
There's an arrow and a crossbow bolt and a bird's nest.
Garrick, we are leaving for the King's Lands. Please come down.
Like, okay. How do I do that?
Oh no.
Someone get my son, please.
So Henrik, you are trying to get up there.
Yeah, I think like I've also gone up the roof a couple times at some point. Hopefully not gotten cut. Yeah, so I know some safer ways to get down.
You make, I believe that's an athletic test, right?
Yeah,
Or what is it? I think that's the thing.
I think so.
God, I'm going from game to game to game to game.
I-
It is athletics, yes.
Athletics.
So why don't you make an athletics test, and we'll see.
Generally, athletics, Simon.
The TR is 6. So let's.
Fingers crossed.
Oh yeah. So Henrik, you very quickly and begin
I'm
to.
standing at the edge of the house underneath where Garrick is.
Yep. You're like, just in case. Yeah. You're like. So you just see TJ silently walk over, looking up, and you can already tell he's there, just in case. Yeah, Henrik, you get up there. Yep, you see your little brother.
Yeah.
He's
Garrett,
like, "Oh, hey.
Hey, Garrett.
I got my rock.
It's a good way up the roof.
It's really good. It's a really good stone. Do you want to?
It is. Yeah, that's good. I'm proud of you for find a way to get up on the
black.
roof, but the black rocks are very nice. Maybe next time, also think of a way down before you make the climb up. Because
why?
Just jumping. It's a pretty long jump, and broken ankles aren't fun.
Well, I didn't think I was gonna jump.
Oh, man.
So how are we getting down?
Trying to get down. I look for a way down as well now.
As you look over there, you see Cheech holding his head like this.
Henrik, how did you get up on the roof?
It's not that hard. The hardest thing is getting down, and the thing in your head that tells you not to go up on a roof.
So Henrik, if you want to make a cunning, because you know this place, I'll lower it down to TR6.
Thank you.
To know a quick way down.
Yeah, that's what I was going for, but it's like, okay, here we go.
12. Yep, that's 2 degrees of success. So, yeah, you actually know if you just run, there's a really quick jump down to the top of the stables, which you can then just slide down.
Yeah, so okay, watch me, and then I'll wait for you on the other side, okay? And
you just
jump
quickly
up,
do it.
wait for him.
Yeah. Garrick, seeing you do that, goes, okay, I got it. And then just jumps into the hay.
At least it's soft. So I was like, oh, okay.
He then rolls out of it.
Oh, God.
And he's just holding his rock. He goes, my arrow. And then he'll you help him up, and he just
don't try to get it. I'll get your arrow for you, okay?
Okay. He's just covered in hay and dust.
Yeah. It's little hair, it's little hay. It's very good.
I've cursed my husband with beautiful idiots.
Yeah, so don't let mother see you do that, or she'll lock you in your room for an entire month. Trust me.
I think she only does that to you.
Oh, God.
Called out.
Ooh, that's brutal. I just take a minute. Yeah.
Can't deny it.
You ever been owned by a 12-year-old?
Sometimes.
Yep. To say is like, mother, while I
Yes.
do understand that behavior is entirely inappropriate,
Mhm.
can I jump into a hay bale?
Not from that height, but I will allow it, yeah.
What about from a height that, say, as tall as Nymora?
I will find that acceptable.
Like, good. Good.
We'll plan for later.
I am probably like eating like an apple or something as a snack, and I've probably given like a slice or something to Tisea. I'm like, I love this child.
Yeah, she goes, thank you very much, Vigmari, and she just goes,
whole thing in her mouth.
I do have to check
Yeah,
out.
it wasn't like a huge. It was probably like
Yeah.
knowing my sister, I have probably sized it
So
appropriately.
Tidrick, you
Yeah.
like to catch. Tidrick, you like to check on one thing.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The horse.
Yep, I understand.
Ooh.
So we follow Tidrick, kind of like smiling at his family, but then and just like beginning to walk towards it. We do see in the background Tisea dragging Nymor by hand over to Garrick.
Mhm.
And then, like, as we see Tidrick like open the pen and close it behind him and begin to walk into the darkness of the stable, we do see then Tisea climbing on top of Nymora and then like jumping into the hay.
Just very tolerating the whole thing.
Yeah, of course. You then see Garrick run up and get on top of the like fence and also jump into the hay after his sister. And they are basically being children.
Mhm.
As then Tidrick. Very accurate. So Tidrick, you enter the stable. And you go to the stall.
Yes.
Yes, and you see facing the wall Endeavor.
Still seeing Endeavor from My Hero Academia every time.
Same. That's a good image.
You know what to do.
And then the horse the ears like and then the horse fully turns around and like clops over you and stares down at you. And then just
I'll be back.
you just hear
As I start walking away.
Yep.
Look back
Indeed.
over my shoulder.
It's
Before I
sta-
get to the door, I start to open and look back over my shoulder.
he's staring at you. You swear half of him is outside of the pen. But then you shake your head and he's definitely in it.
Shut it,
Mhm.
please.
Yep. Like at this point, we see Tisea is now running, hoisting her dress up, just with trails of straw coming off of her, and Jennifer like trying to catch her, but like, all right, lady, and she's like, no. But she's making a game of it, like she's giggling and laughing the whole time.
Mhm.
Garrick is just being attended to by like 3 different servants, just like grabbing all the stuff that's just caught in his hair. Harder and harder to check, seeing as his hair is nearly the color of straw.
Mhm.
And eventually the house is sort of putting itself away. Henrik. Yes. I see your
I was
hand.
wondering, real quick, if I could, after this whole hay excursion is done, and to our heart's content, and if I could have a quick pull aside with Clarissa.
At your liege.
So after the hay thing's done, dust myself off. Still probably have some in my hair, but it's all right. I'll pull Clary aside for a little bit, maybe like more secluded, but still like, around people, I guess. Not too suspicious. Want to say, first up, Clary, I just want to see, are you okay? I know it was a lot a couple weeks ago. I just checked out, make sure you're all right.
You're very sweet. Yes, thanks to you. You and Nymora, of course.
Mostly Nymora.
No, you got there first. Don't forget. You did good, Henrik. You can admit that.
I can, but I'm afraid if I do, I'm not going to stop. So I'm holding myself now.
Yes, keep yourself in check.
Trying. But just make sure you're all right. And I had a question for you. You and my parents have told me about all the good work you did with Lord Tyrell, and I've known for a while how smart you are, and I do appreciate what you do for our house and everything. I have a bit of an odd question, but I think would be fitting for someone such as yourself. Do you have any ideas or know of any ways to go about of finding someone who's gone missing and doesn't want to be found, but perhaps not calling too much attention to yourself while doing that? I know it kind of contradicts each other, but thought if anyone would have an answer, you would.
Huh. Yeah, I should have known there were strings attached to this conversation, Henrik. Who are you looking for?
Someone. None of you are there. Oh, sorry. Someone important, and someone whose, I think, reputation is on the line, and I'm trying to help them. I know it doesn't give you much to go off of, but
here's what I'll tell you. If you are trying to avoid drawing attention to yourself, know that it's impossible, being who you are. You need other people, like your parents have me, to accomplish that sort of thing. I could help more if you gave me more information, but I have a feeling you won't. So, just be careful, all right? It's...
always.
You're good with a sword, Henrik, but just be careful.
Thank you for advice. I know I don't have to ask you anything else. I know you'll take good care of the house, Lady Carissa, and hopefully I'll see when I get back and everything will be all right. And head off.
Immediately, Clary pulls the feather quill from behind her ear and a piece of paper and writes, "Find out who's missing," and just underlines it a couple times.
Absolutely. Yes.
So how many weeks has it been?
It's been since you guys have gotten back.
Mm-hmm.
Like 2 months.
Like 2 months. That's more than enough time to have fixed up that shadow cat fur, right? Okay. So yeah. Nymora. I'm not gonna. I don't think Nymora is the type of person to say have drawn out goodbyes. But before we leave, she does put a note and the new shadow cat stole on Clarissa's bed.
Cute.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Speaking of that, I was
milk of the poppy ready.
I will ask. Yeah. So goodbyes to be said, anything like that?
Most everyone's going, so.
Yeah, sorry, you cut out at the last part of there. So
I said,
goodbyes.
yeah, and any goodbyes people want to say before I send you all off?
I'll give this to John,
No, of course, yeah.
and I've said my goodbyes.
Yep. All right.
That damn horse.
Well, if everyone's ready to go,
Yes.
the wedding train is off.
Huzzah!
Oh! And we see
Well,
the whole
go
train
Cubs.
leaving through these huge fields of red, gallant horses, a train of knights all around them. It's glorious and it's beautiful. And the gates come to a shut behind them. And then, it's just back to the daily grind for Thorsten and Clarissa, as you probably retire to your to Clarissa's office, which is very large and has lots of workspace to just go over the accounts. You have to increment the new copper that's come around and the new sort of projects the farmers and mainly the port town has been needing that for. And there's just business to be done. Meanwhile, it takes not too much time. Little over, I want to say a little over a week to make it to the wedding venue. You have to stop at some inns and whatnot. Yes, Steve.
One of our stops.
Yeah.
I will pull Henrik aside.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. This time you're actually stopping at like an inn because you're. So outside the inn, you've grabbed Henrik, your boy.
Immediately think I'm in trouble for something. It's like, oh god. Okay.
So, backward in the fight at the Dulvers, I felt like you did a very good job. And because of that, I got you this. As I pull out the shield.
Oh.
Just like, I'm so sorry. Because Aaron is so hyped right now. All right. And just like double take, looks at it like in shock, and like just like holds it like, oh, this Shield of Legends here, and
He just
like,
has pride for his son. Just
yeah.
There's a nice dent in it.
Okay.
Like it's
Oh,
been
this-
used.
Yeah. Oh, this incredible thing. And I go to hug him real quick, and I was like real quick, it's like, oh, like, never mind. It's like, strong. It's like, no, not supposed to show that kind of sentimental emotion.
and
Like,
then
I'm
I'll
good.
go and I'll hug him.
Oh, it's so great. Oh, thank you.
Like this well-adjusted father-son relationship. Good.
Nice.
Don't tell your sister.
Oh, so,
She's standing right over there, like you didn't hear her, but you see that.
or like we're outside in the end, and she's like right at the window. We're like, yeah, right here.
I don't know what you think I'm gonna do about it.
He just likes to say that. Don't tell somebody.
Yeah.
It makes a secret between them, therefore closer.
Just let him have this, okay?
It's a manly secret.
Manly secret.
Yeah.
You wouldn't understand. It's a man thing.
Man thing. Yeah.
I could say words, but I'll refrain.
Hey. We're back in Game of Thrones time.
Hey. All right. Oh man. Okay, so
Thank you.
All right, fine. It's just a teacher thing.
that's a teacher thing. Yep. So you get this lovely a shield of Sir Duncan the Tall, who I'm sure are very happy you're going to put that in your room along with your Jaime Lannister posters.
I'm adding it to my freaking gear right now, man. Yeah, rad.
Yep. I will tell you that shield will not give you any kind of benefit from a shield, seeing as it is very old.
Yeah.
It's while will function as a shield, is much more likely to break. As again, while a knight of legend, Sir Duncan the Tall was, for most of his career as a knight, poor as shit.
Yeah. No, I remember the stories. Yeah, like he made his armor and equipment. It didn't make him. That was part of the whole thing.
Yeah. So very happy with your new present. You continue onward. I'm sure Henrik just like beaming.
The entire ride over there. Yeah,
Mhm.
nothing can bring me down.
Like he's like, minstrel, play this, and then it's the rich noble equivalent of like you trying to control the radio, like minstrels. It's like no. Vivian's like no minstrels.
Please, mother, just let me have this.
Like no, next song. Next.
No, the one's my favorite.
Forcibly
Like,
jumping the playlist.
Just
Yes.
pick something.
no, play louder.
Exactly.
Please just pick something.
Put us out of our misery, please.
So it is soon that the house arrives. Yes. So we arrive. We see the imposing small castle of House Manning. It is literally known as Sea Lion Hall. In fact, as you approach, the intense smell of the sea hits everyone. As you know, you are you are looking at the Blackwater Bay, and you passed by King's Landing to get here. It was quite a lovely. Sir Justin. It was quite a lovely sight. And you, in fact, hear in the distance the baying of sea lion. It sounds quite strange, but fun, you know? You hear the gulls, you hear everything. You were worried it was not going to smell good over here. It actually smells fine. Whatever part of the bay this is, it seems not too briny. And you already see several like tents and colors of a couple different houses, like camps. The camps are basically for like the carriages that the people like, because the carriage drivers aren't invited to the wedding, but they can't leave. Mm-hmm. So they're just like, yep, this is where we're at.
We're gonna have our own party.
Yeah, that's all the men are stationed there as well. And finally, your carriage kind of comes around a turnabout, around a fountain of a tall, like, sea lion, but like a literal, like, there is a lion with a kind of situation.
It's a fantasy sea lion.
Yes, they are fantasy sea lions.
It's a merlion.
Yeah.
Oh.
Essentially, yes. And your cart comes wheeled around. Servants immediately begin taking and moving them to the correct places. You are each helped down off of the carriage, and if not in the carriage, then off of your horses. You already hear music playing inside, and you all, as a family unit, Vivian making sure no one runs off.
I sort of stick really, really close to Garrick and Tisea.
Yeah, understood. And you move forward. And in the hall, going through the doors, you already see several other people. There are tables already set up, banners of both House Manning, which House Manning has a yellow background with a red sea lion on it, and then House Hart, which has sort of like this crisscrossing blue and white background and a diagonal sash on it with 3 heads of hearts, which are in black, which are like adult male deers, large antlers. And they just kind of sat about in equal measure. Now, for those of you who do know, Tedric and Vivian, you would know this quite well. House Manning and House Hart hate one another. They have been in a blood feud for generations. No one knows why. It all started in some way, and sometimes it cool. But this wedding is to end that, because Robert is sort of enacting a lot of policies lately, kind of seen by the great reward for mollifying conflict between House Dulver and House Tullison, that he doesn't want his lords fighting. So, and seeing as the Crownlands are directly seen by King Robert, they were sort of, by the letter you received from your sister Vivian, this wedding is 100% political. In fact, Kevin and Sylvie have never met. Very, very typical. But this should stop the feud finally. However, you're not so sure how everyone's going to act tonight. So I'm sure you and Tedric have informed everyone of like be on your toes. This might get dicey.
Behavior counts.
And if sides are taken, we're with the Mannings because they're family.
Yep.
As you enter, Vivian, you haven't seen him in a long time. I think since your wedding, you see Lord Archer Manning. He's in a yellow tabard with the red shield and lion on his chest. He has kind of balding head, gray white hair, a pure white beard, cut well around his face. He's definitely a bit shorter than average. He's like 5'9", stocky though. And standing next to him is a man you don't recognize. He's tall, has sort of these brown golden hair, very akin to your hair. And he has these unmistakable green eyes of your family. And he's tall and he's handsome and he has a very trimmed beard. He looks maybe 20, maybe a little younger, maybe 19. And he stands tall also and as you come over, Arthur kind of looks and he goes, Vivian! And goes over and he takes your hands and he does Westerosi kisses with you. Like, so good to see you. I'm so glad you've came. It means the world to us that you've come here.
Oh, we are happy to be here for this happy time, my lord.
Yes, indeed. And Lord Tedric, good to see you again. Puts a hand out to give you a warrior's handshake. Yes, I heard what...
my hand and grip his arm.
Yep, he goes, I heard what you did at the Battle of Ashford. Gave them what for, I heard.
Yes, they deserved it.
Yes, they did. But we're all under one banner now.
Yes, this is true.
And both of the men just... All right. Well, yes, well... Boy, don't just stand there. Come on. And coming up and goes, hello, I'm Kevin Manning. Kevin. I believe you are my aunt.
Yes, look at you. Oh, handsome as wow, incredible.
Yep. He's tall too. He's like 6'2".
Well, you have your sister's eyes.
Like my sister's? What?
Your sister?
My sister. Sorry.
Yeah.
Please, Vivian has like a 5 in language.
You're fine. Yes.
Yeah.
I understand. I was just confused for a second. But yes. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So he goes, thank you. I do appreciate it. I know my mother would be very happy you're here. I'm sorry she's not here to welcome you.
Where is she?
And Arthur just like she's in her room. She wasn't feeling well.
I see.
But I'm happy to greet all of you. Lord Tedrick, or Uncle, I suppose I should call you, as he goes to shake your hand.
Shake his.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Cousins. I believe you must be Mariella, and you must be Henrik. Yes.
Kind of smile and nod.
Yeah.
Well,
Kind of like.
seven. Well, seven's greetings. I like to you, cousins. It's good to meet you.
As well, congratulations on your one-year wedding.
Thank you. Thank you. And he says, like, I'm your cousin too.
Oh, Garrett. Right on, Garrett. Oh, Garrett.
And Jersey goes, Garrett, that was rude. You should have also introduced me. I am Tisea, and she like curtsies. And he bows, he goes, my lady, good to meet you, cousin. And after like all this kind of like, oh haha, there's then sort of a kind of like a to the left, and all of you turn and you literally didn't notice, but there was actually a third person standing there.
Oh god.
There's a young man dressed well, but not in any tabards. He's got like this length hair. It's brown. His eyes are kind of a dull brown. He's fairly average looking, a little shorter than you, Henrik. He's got like
these types.
Kind of a cape on. And he goes, oh yes, of course. My other son. This is
Oh, no.
this is Darren.
Is he sure about that?
Darren, come over here. Darren, everyone, these are our cousins and aunts and uncles. Darren's just like, he looks like he does not want to be here. And he's just like, hi, I'm Darren.
How old does he look?
About maybe like a little older than him. Maybe probably like a year old.
An angsty teenager.
Perhaps.
Mm.
He more looks just really awkward, and he's just like, hello.
Well met, Darren.
He goes, well met, but like he doesn't grip your forearm. He doesn't have a good handshake.
Oh, that's the worst.
That's poor
And
kid.
he's like,
so weak.
like Lord Uncle, Lady Aunt, cousins. And Jose is like, is there something interesting on your shoe?
To say
I don't
it.
see anything interesting on your shoe.
Yes.
And he just like immediately like goes beet red, like, oh.
I tap to say on the shoulder. To say it on the.
You're like, what? He's looking at his shoe.
Another score for Tisea.
Yeah. I already marked.
Love her.
Yeah.
So
Smile
good.
when Tisea. She's amazing.
Us lords and ladies can't say that, but
Mhm.
little kids can.
Out of the mouths of babes.
It is a
But yeah,
pleasure to meet you all. I think we should move so you can greet your other guests.
Yes, of course. Well, we can take some time to greet family. They're guests, but you're family, Vivian, and I'm very happy to have you here. Come, of course, you'll, of course, be sitting at our table.
Oh, cool.
Of course.
We've already set aside. Thank you for actually writing ahead to bringing so many of these damn grabby like rats trying to get in. And here taking seating is just ridiculous. I mean, my seneschal is in a tizzy, and like I can barely get any numbers out of him.
RSVP, what is wrong with them?
Yep.
These
Anyway, please enjoy. There's a buffet of drink, light refreshment before the reception feast. Please, I insist. Enjoy the music.
All
Meet
right.
And he kind of
Now
just steps aside for all of you to kind of go on, and Kevin and Darren kind of like bow to both of you, to all of you guys as you go by.
So, my apologies, young lord. Tisea sometimes doesn't know.
At that, when you say that to Darren actually smiled. He's got a pretty nice smile. He's like, "It's okay. She's 7."
But not everyone enjoys parties, so I know.
Like, he shrugs. Kind of you. And then he quickly realizes he has no fucking. He's like, "Wait, who are you?" He's like,
I'm Naimora. I am House Weirlight's bodyguard.
He goes, "Oh, wow." And he kind of bows a bit to you, like he doesn't know what else to do. Goes,
You're charming.
He goes beet red, and he's like, "Thank you." And enjoy the festivities.
Thank you. Come on, Tisea. Come on, Garrick. Let's catch up.
They've read ahead of you.
Yeah. Okay. Oh,
We're back. Oh, okay, they're gone.
goodbye.
Yeah. So the Weirlights enter the party. Meanwhile,
back at the ranch.
Yeah. Back on the home front. Here
Back
we go.
on the ranch.
Back on the prairie lane.
Thorsten, Clarissa, you have a rare time of peace within House Weirlight.
Quiet.
Oh, whoa.
It's
It's-
too quiet.
It's quiet. You can hear people working outside and doing what they're doing. It's distant, serene. Birch is being exceptionally lazy, just like just
As he deserves.
still right next to you, Clarissa.
Mhm.
Oh.
But yeah, you're both basically working at desks, sort of like facing each other.
I was about to say we're sitting across from each other at a desk,
Yep.
just going over
Yeah, you
stuff.
just we all that's really you really hear is like the scribbling of ink quills, just turns paging. But yeah, you can finally get real work done. You don't have to like go and do any of like the formal stuff the family needs you to do. You can have every meal in your office.
Oh, nice. Game changing. Yeah.
Yep, right? Yep. But you're always expected at dinner, so it's like but not no more.
Yeah.
Y'all can just work and and obviously talk about stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So what we kind of come in, this is maybe a day or two after like the family has left, and you're getting work done, but you're and we see you're having a conversation. What is the conversation about?
I'm asking how she's faring from the incident at the other house we're at. I can't remember the
House
Dulvers.
Dulver.
Yes.
Yeah.
Basically, still occasionally checking up on her to make sure if there is any PTSD.
I'm your friend, but I'm also your doctor.
Yes.
/
Yes.
like mental health therapist. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I'm fine, Boston. Everybody asks, and I'm always fine. You know how it is.
Okay. Yes.
All right. Anything else?
No, I think then it's like he asks, she answers, and then they both like have a moment of eye contact and then immediately go back to it.
Let us never discuss it again.
Spoke 3 words.
Nice.
Yep. So at this point, it's just afternoon. You've just had your lunch, of course, at your desk.
Mm-hmm.
It
You
was
place to have your lunch.
It was lovely roast like pheasant with some fresh greens and a lovely cider. Yeah, it's very nice.
Sounds good.
Mm-hmm. And as you're getting back to work, you suddenly hear heavy footsteps coming down and the door, your door, like there's a knock, and then it opens, and you see the Castellan, Hero Black, and he goes, you're both here, good. Steward Clarissa, there is a matter that needs your attending. And you should probably come too, Thurston.
Okay.
It was so peaceful. All right, let's go.
So he runs you down to the main receiving hall. And there is, the large chair at which Tedric, as Lord of House, sits when delegating the affairs of his house. And there is another smaller chair right next to it, which is where you sit as the steward. So you sit down in your steward's chair, and there is one of your farmers on his knees, in front of y'all. He looks like he's covered in sweat.
I go stand next to Clarissa, kind of behind her. That way I can guide her if needed, like I would with Lord or Lady.
Yep, and Nero goes down to the bottom of the stairs near them. He goes, all right, kind of gestures.
What can I help you with, sir?
He goes, Lady, Steward, it's the, I went out in the field, and I didn't notice it until we had taken our noon break, but there's a huge crop has been tangled.
Tangled?
We didn't notice it, but I'm so sorry that we didn't catch it in time. It's the Weirlights.
Mm-hmm.
Tangled how? What do you mean? What do they look like?
The flowers, they've cropped up among the poppies, and their roots have begun to choke the roots of the poppies, killing them.
I'll turn and I'll look at Thorsten, and I believe we've probably talked about the flowers that we found, because I said that I would have told him about it. I don't know if you were there, Dave. But yeah, I think she turns and gives him a look. I'm not sure. She'll kind of turn back. Will you let Nero know where that crop is? Tell them to not disturb it. Leave it as is.
Do you want me to show you where it is?
She kind of closes her eyes and takes a very deep breath. She says, yes, all right, I suppose so. Yes, let's go.
All right, yeah, he gets up. So yeah, I'm guessing, Thorsten, you're coming with?
Yes, and taking a few guards with us too, just in case.
Oh yeah, of course.
Always.
So yeah, you get on your horses, you ride out. Farmer is on his horse. There's no saddle on it. But yeah, you ride for an hour or so out. And yeah, you come upon, through some of the red fields, and he goes, there. And yeah, you see these two large sections of poppy seem to be taller in certain areas. Clarissa, can I get you to get me a what is it called? Awareness roll.
All right.
Charisma save. No. Ooh, very nice. Absolutely. So that's 3 degrees of success. Clarissa, you see this, and you begin to ride further and further out. And in fact, you go through the kind of pathway in between the two fields, looking back and recognizing the Weirlights popping out of like the not yet ripe poppy pod flowers. But then you look over the hill and down past it, and like almost a wave, there is a wave of red Weirlight flowers coming from a bit of the darker tree lining, and you know exactly where that is and what is beyond that tree line.
All right. Good. This is good. She'll hop down and she'll pick one and see if she can find its roots. One of the tangled ones.
Yeah, you pick a Weirlight?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you reach down and you grab the Weirlight, and it's not coming out.
Thorsten?
I reach into my bag, hand her a trowel.
Yeah, I'll start digging it up to see if I can find the bottom.
Yeah, you begin to dig, and you dig up, like a few inches of dirt, and its stem is still going down. And you dig more, and you're still just seeing its stem trying to get under it. And you have to dig. You're actually no one says anything, but Thorsten, you get to a point where Clarissa's been digging for 10 minutes, and she's not getting that far, and she's more just
fighting,
getting a little manic as she's digging. Like not 10 minutes, I would say probably closer to 5. But she's like on her knees, just digging. And Thorsten, did you do anything? Say anything?
I'm gonna get down there and not go to the one she's at, but I'm going to pull out a knife that I have in my bag and just cut one of the other ones that are nearby that are tangled.
So I will say, Thorsten, when you go down there and see what she's digging at, you're confused because the Weirlight's already out of the ground, like with the roots. Do you say anything?
Clarissa, what are you digging at? And I pick up the Weirlight.
Clarissa, you blink and you realize, yeah, it's out. There's no more. It's gone.
Nothing. I suppose. Great. We should. Thorsten, perhaps we head back. Perhaps we go farther. I'm not sure what to do.
We're going to have somebody come out and investigate this while the family is away. And see
Thorsten, Clarissa, you would know the person to investigate that. That's you guys.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You are the most qualified people to do it.
Well, then I'm going to grab the trowel and I'm going to dig up a few more just so I have multiple samples and
absolutely
all of that.
You do it.
Did it start here?
The farmer is like, I mean, that's when I noticed it, but it's spread out from that space over there, and then I didn't notice it till it was already here, and when I went to talk to some of the other farmers, well, they started looking, and at least my neighbors, the fuels on the sorry, hold on.
You're fine.
Blares, the fuel blares. They found among their till, the growing buds there, some more of them. Not as much here, but some there too.
I'm going to ask you a question.
All right.
I'm going to need you to forget that I asked you this question.
He looks very worried, but does not protest.
Have they looked at you?
He immediately looks away. And is like, I
All right. Thorsten, do you have enough? Can we leave?
Yes.
Good. Let's go then. We will be back. I promise you that.
Right. Is there something I should do in the meantime?
No.
All right. Okay.
Stay away.
Oh, okay.
Great. Good. All right. Have a nice day.
Yes, my lady.
She gets on her horse and she books it back to the castle.
As do I.
Yep. Guards quickly try and follow after you. Clarissa, where do you go?
I think she'll kind of look at Thorsten and she'll go, your office this time?
Yes.
I don't want this anywhere near me.
Yes.
Thank you.
Of course.
Yeah, as you're rushing through the halls, you notice your cousin, Sir Cedric, pass you, and he's like, "Whoa, Clary, what's up? What's going on?"
And nothing. Don't worry about it. I will come find you later. Actually, I have a question for you.
All right. He nods at you.
And
You go to the lab.
I immediately
What do you want to do?
go start
Thorsten-
looking through books.
What are you trying to find?
Just some reference to something of this nature happening to the Weirlights in the past, or the way they look compared to.
Oh, well, it sounds to me like we need a research role.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, those bad boys.
If anyone is really good at just reading tons of books and then retaining bits of them.
Disgusting.
I loved Anthony's face.
Ugh,
Oh.
nasty.
David, I need you to wait because there was some thing.
Oh, you said I need a research, so
we're gonna need a
apologies.
research. Yeah, you're right.
Got so
I understand.
excited at the thought of
We're
research.
we're keeping the role, so you're
Okay.
fine.
My apologies.
Clarissa,
Yes.
are you helping Thorsten? Or
Yeah,
you
for
doing
sure.
Okay, well then I would also need a research roll. So that's also just knowledge if you don't have research.
Knowledge. All right.
Knowledge.
Knowledge.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a
Okay.
31, but it's good for me.
The opposite. It's the reverse.
It is the reverse.
No.
Yeah. So, Clarissa, you managed to get 1 degree of success. So it's actually a 32. Thorsten.
Actually, it's a 36 because I get to add +4 from my cunning mastery.
I hate all of this.
Sure, of course you do. Obviously, why wouldn't you? So let's see. That's 1, 2, 3,
No, you know what?
Sorry,
David,
cutting
you have to
master.
leave. David, get out.
5. Yeah, 5. Wait, yeah, 5. So that's 5 degrees of success. Or is it? Yeah, 5. Yeah, I think so. and then not 1 more. Yep. Yep, 5. 5 degrees of success there. Yes. So this comes at the cost of basically 2 days of research. Of just
Yeah, my office that was once pristine is now, well, not pristine, but an organized mess is now a chaotic mess.
Yeah. You do manage to put together some facts.
Mm-hmm.
there is a lot of superstition around the Weirlight flower. It is very unique because as long as any record has been had, it has only grown in the Redlands, in the lands of House Weirlight. Any attempt to cultivate it or plant it has failed every time. This is due to a unique fact that it doesn't really drop like seeds. There isn't much more knowledge beyond that from you can read. There has always been lots of superstition behind it. Many people believe it as a bad luck omen. Many farmers believe that it's a sign of a bad crop if one pops up in the poppy flowers. The problem is it's so hard to spot because of the very similar colors that the two flowers have. As far as the record has ever been held, the original Hall of House Weirlight, which was known as Weirlight Sanctuary, the original lands of House Weirlight, long before the modern Weirlights entered the picture, used to rule from. And that is the most highest focus of them is around that area. It is very much believed by past maesters that Weirlights prefer shaded areas of growing rather than
they prefer a partial sun versus a full sun.
Yes, though others refute that, saying that if a flower wanted that, it would be taller and the petals would be different, and there's just no there's a lot of conflicting arguments you find. One maester says this is what's true, and then the next maester says this is what's true, and it's completely conflicting. And you thought that there'd be more record, but you go back to a certain point in Weirlight history, and it stops. It just stops. But you know the house is older. The house is stated the year it was founded, and there is literally about 200 years of written history not here. And you are very certain, you spent 2 days scouring, it's not here. However, where's the 5 degrees of success? Clarissa casually mentions and this, kind of ragging on some of the maesters and takers of old to have what is this? What is this statement? And of Weirlight was found. That's it? Not how to deal with it, not what was done. God, these people. And Clarissa, you find that, you just get mad and state that this guy even, you kind of read something, you say something which makes Thorsten think, and he goes back and looks through a few others, and it seems not that long ago, actually. In fact, the maester before you, Maester Lutheran, who served the house for 50 years. So
my father's maester?
Yes. Well, technically he was your grandfather's maester, but he's been coming a while. He seemed, for some unknown reason, you find an old lost journal of his, a personal one, not like an official house one. Managed to unearth. You never even really seen much of it. It's mostly really boring. Except there are several pages seemingly torn out of it, and one page just after it stating there's more pages after it, but after it just stated documents containing the issue have been sent for secure containment at the Citadel.
I had a feeling deep down that this is what would happen. I must go to the Citadel. Correct me if I'm wrong, but if I could bring Clarissa if I wanted, because she's in accompaniment of me.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you can bring Clarissa.
Well,
yeah, so after 2 days, you realize if you want...
Well, it's a good thing we're close to the Citadel.
You were very close.
We've got to go. Post haste.
Let's do it.
All right. Did you want to have a conversation with your cousin?
No. I think she had one. She gets too wrapped up in this and doesn't even think about it for a while.
All right. Cool.
I'm going to let Cedric, know that we're going to be leaving for, a week or two?
I'll talk to Nero, too.
Okay. Yep. They are like, okay. And however, Clarissa, at one point, Cedric like ambushes you a little and like kind of like stops you from moving and is like, can I talk to you?
Oh, yes, of course. I'm so sorry.
It's fine,
Yeah.
cousin. It's fine, cousin. It's fine. He just like brings you into a room basically, the door and shuts the windows, and he goes, "Okay, Nero told me that you found the flower."
Many.
He nods. He goes, "So is this what's going on right now? And this is what I'm thinking. Is this Asterwood business?"
Yeah. Asterwood Weirlight business. I mean, they kind of
Well-
go hand in hand.
Well, the reason we were formed.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. And this is, Clarissa, this is when you remember, oh yeah, if you were given this, and Cedric probably was also told that,
Yes.
seeing as you are the two Asterwoods who are at House.
Yeah.
All right.
Worse than I've ever seen it.
All right. I'll ride back to the keep. I'll get the book. You're going to get some information from the Citadel.
Yes.
Very well. I really hope it's not us who wants to do this, and that this is a fluke.
It would be just our luck, huh?
No, he chuckles and nods. Are you sure you're going to be all right? Not that the Citadel's dangerous, but...
Apparently I can make even the most mundane things dangerous, so yes, I will likely be fine.
I also have noticed that you haven't gone to sleep in your bed for a while.
I mean, a chair is just as comfortable.
I will mention there is a gift, apparently, for you on it.
Oh. All right. I'll stop by there before I leave.
He nods, and he's just like 7 speed, and he leaves. So yeah, on it you see it is a gift seemingly from a card from Nymora. You see a shadow cat stole.
Yes, she'll kind of like look at it and she'll say, well, I suppose it's just the most appropriate time, and she'll put it on.
Yep. All right. So Thorsten and Clarissa mount up and ride for Old Town.
Old Town.
How old, you may ask? No.
Old is old.
So old.
And as at this point, we will take our break for the evening.
Who's that?
So everyone get up, get some, go to the bathroom, get some drinks, get some food, stretch yourself out. We're going to take about 15 minutes to chill.
All the cliffhangers.
Yeah.
Love it, Nymora.